takes a lot of courage to be yourself. And you have to get through life without becoming the person that others want you to be.
Carlos really digs you. And then he'll run our lives and take our money. No, you're right. We say who, we say when, we say how much.
It's hard to be your true self, especially when you don't know who you really are. This is the case for witches and mystics who may very well have a stigma attached to their name. You may think that you're playing it safe by staying in the broom closet, by keeping your cauldron a secret, or tucking your rose quartz in your breast pocket so nobody can see. The truth, hiding who you are is killing you. Worse, you're destined for a life of hardship and heartache if you don't embrace all of your witchy talents and tap into your dark feminine energy. So in this video, I'm going to explain why it's important for you to come out of the broom closet, accept who you are, and balance dark and feminine forces that are within you. So please stay tuned. Do you guys remember watching Pretty Woman? It was a modern day retelling of Cinderella. Only Cinderella wasn't an orphan girl being mistreated by her stepmothers and stepsisters. Instead, she was a prostitute named Vivian.
Now, I'm assuming that you're a relative?
Yes.
Vivian didn't have a fairy godmother. However, she did have Lady Luck on her side. She strikes gold when she is hired by a wealthy businessman to be his girlfriend for the week. And she hits the jackpot when they both seemingly fall in love. Now, Vivian has some witchy powers, aside from being a redhead and beautiful. Yet she refrains from kissing because then sex wouldn't be just sex. It would be about love. Underneath it all, Vivian was afraid of being vulnerable. She was afraid of rejection, despite her dreams of being rescued from an abusive home by a knight on a white steed.
And draw his sword, and I would wave, and he would climb up the tower and rescue me.
Edward offers Vivian a chance to be his mistress, a kept woman. She would have an apartment, a car, and even an allowance.
I know. It's a really good offer for a girl like me.
Now, this would be any escort's dream. However, Vivian is deeply offended by this gesture. Despite her line of work, she seems to innately understand her worth and her ability to beguile a handsome rich man. Vivian taps into her witchy powers, also known as the dark feminine powers, and thus causes Edward to pursue her and cajoling her to be with him as his equal and as his life partner. I know you guys remember Dany from the first season of Game of Thrones. She was beautiful and young and innocent. Sadly, she was in the sole custody of her abusive older brother, who basically sold her for an army that he could never command.
You send this whore to give me commands. I should have sent you back her head.
Forgive me, Khaleesi. It is yours.
Hush now, it's all right.
Fact and fiction aren't much different in these cases. Back in the day, it wasn't uncommon for women to be sold off to maintain peace treaties or to maintain peace between dueling tribes or countries.
I give him a queen, and he gives me an army.
I don't want to be his queen.
Or for two nobles to marry their children to combine power and wealth. In many cases, women were viewed as subservient and thus were subjected to beatings and other forms of mistreatment. However, things seem to change when women begin to tap into their dark feminine energy. Dany's whole life changed with the birth of her dragons. Just as many women found a sense of recourse by visiting the holy temples and seeking the services of mystics and yes, witches alike. In short, dark feminine energy has helped women all throughout history break the chains of oppression and live a life of supreme freedom. Now, to be fair, relationships have seemingly always been transactional.
Listen, maybe you and I could get together sometime after Edward leaves.
Yeah, sure.
Princesses were married to maintain peace. Rich and noble families used marriages to combine wealth and status. And women would choose to be second or third wives just to have a roof over their head. However, It was witches and divine priestesses who sought to level the playing field. They used their black magic and dark arts to help turn a bad situation, well, into a good one. Catherine, the Serpent Queen and Black Witch, was married off to maintain peace between Italy and France. All the odds were stacked against her. She wasn't attractive, she wasn't rich, and she didn't have a supporting family. She wasn't even able to give her husband Henry an heir for the first 10 years of their marriage.
Something tells me you'll be all right.
How would you know?
I'm a fortune teller.
What Catherine did have was a magician who used potions and sacred knowledge to turn things around in her favor. Even Catherine's nemesis, Diane, Henry's older mistress, used beauty potions and love spells to maintain her youth and maintain the hold that she had over King Henry. Now, it's safe to say that society didn't always stigmatize women who use sex to gain wealth and power.
$100 an hour. Pretty stiff.
Well, no, but it's got potential.
Charlotte from Harlots was never able to marry a rich businessman like Vivian. However, she was able to win over the heart of Sir George Howard and thus becoming a kept woman. Ironically, her profession didn't deter her desirability. In fact, almost every man wanted to be with her. Charlotte's younger sister Lucy also rose up the ranks of desirability, becoming a sought-after and famous courtesan. We all heard the stories of famous courtesans charging thousands of dollars for just one night with them.
You'll be responsible for her debts as well as her upkeep. I must advise you it will drain your funds.
We've heard about courtesans influencing powerful politicians and noblemen and even seeking leadership positions all for themselves. In Harlot, both Margaret and Lydia owned successful brothels, thus proving that women could earn a very good living just selling sex. Well, it wasn't just about the sex. It was about the entire experience.
Black Venus.
I'm Dido, Queen of Carthage, fated to the underworld for daring to love. Who dares love me?
The women in these brothels were more like artisans than prostitutes. They didn't just understand the art of lovemaking and seduction. They understood the importance of creating a fantasy or creating an experience that men can become addicted to. Sadly, many people have a limited understanding of all their human emotions. As a result of this, a courtesan or someone who is a magician can easily manipulate their behavior and their emotions. The goal of a courtesan is to get her John to come back for more and more and more and more, fostering a dependency that he can never break free from. This process ensures that the courtesan will always have dollars and coins in her pocket, and that her John will be hooked even as she advances into old age. So what happened? How did powerful women who reached the top of socioeconomic ladder fall from grace? Well, it all started when women failed to understand their dark feminine energy. Let's be real here. Hustle culture is real and thriving in the United States and all throughout the world. Many people believe that hustle culture is just working hard to achieve a certain goal. However, it has evolved to be more than that. Now hustle culture is all about exploitation. It's about trickery and deception. People are not looking to make exchanges. They're looking to put someone else at a considerable disadvantage. All for profit. We see this happening in the movie Zola, when a waitress and part-time exotic dancer is lured into a life of crime and prostitution. She is promised big earnings by dancing in a club in Florida, only to find out that it's a hole in the wall. Then she finds her picture up on Backpage, an underground website designed for sex workers.
Y'all want to trap?
What you got for us?
I set y'all both up on Backpage.
Backpage?
Now, Zola refuses to have sex for money. However, Stephanie needs to care for her young child, and she sells herself short, selling her services for $150 before jacking up the price to $500.
You think you could do my job better than me?
Yep.
Stephanie makes almost $8,000 in one night. This pleases her pimp and forces Zola to be his accomplice in crime. They go from John to John, Zola carrying a gun, negotiating all the terms and prices. Yet unlike Charlotte, or Lucy, or Vivian, or Catherine, or even Diane, both girls are forced to work against their will.
Get your ass back in this car before I put your ass back in this car.
And it seems as if both girls are being poorly compensated for doing almost all the work. Now the movie Zola gets darker as we begin to realize that there is no escape for these ladies, mimicking the harsh world of sex trafficking and exploitation. Stephanie will never find her Prince Charming. She will never be swept off her feet by a wealthy businessman. Instead, she will work in dangerous situations until she is maimed or sadly killed. Zola is the primary example of women not fully understanding their dark energy. Dark feminine energy needs to be balanced with light feminine energy. These two forces need to be balanced in order for women to evolve and grow. If a woman is solely using dark feminine energy, she will regress, and her life will devolve into a tailspin.
This is messy. You are messy. Your brain is broke. Have fun, be safe, wear condoms.
She will never have the ability to inspire or even transform her life or that of others. Now, what is the solution? We need to understand that light and dark forces don't contradict one another. Rather, they work together in harmony with nature. Once we tap into these forces, we can just relax and allow Mother Nature to steer the ship. Take hold of the reins or the wheel. She is powerful and she knows what's best for you. And she can get you to your destination faster than you ever could. So just surrender and allow Mother Nature to do what she does best. This, my friends, was another video essay by the Modern Mystic. Please support this channel by picking up the Voodoo Love series on Amazon. Peace out.